Various theories are advanced about the origin of man. In this session, we will look at some of them.
By the end of this lesson, you should be able to 1. Explain the religious view on the origin of man. 2. Explain the traditional view on the origin of man. 3. Explain the evolution theory on the origin of man. Attempt the following exercises. Answer the following questions.
Human beings are intelligent beings. They are different from animals in that they are able to think, are able to communicate, they are able to make tools, they have cultures and traditions, are moral beings, are spiritual beings, invent and discover things.
Before we look at the various theories of origin of man, let us try and trace our own origin by trying out the following exercise. Draw a tree and trace your family origin back to your great-great-grandparents on either your father or mother's side. Start with the roots to represent your great-great-grandparents, stem to represent your grandparents, branches to represent your parents, uncles, and aunts. The fruits represent you and your siblings, as well as your cousins from your aunts and uncles you have identified.
Almost every religion in the world has a history of how the earth came into existence. Christians and Muslims believe in the creation story, where God is believed to be the creator of the universe.
Traditional theories differ from one community to another. Each community has its own myth explaining their origin. They all believed that they were created by a supernatural being for a special purpose. Some of the common traditional theories include that of the Luo. The Luo myth of creation states that their ancestor Ramogi Ajwang was created by God or Nyasaye and placed at Ramogi Hills.
A Gikuyu myth states that the Ngai created the first man called Gikuyu and provided him with a wife Mumbi and gave them land at Mukurwe wa Nyagathanga. Gikuyu and Mumbi became the ancestors of the Kikuyu community. The ancient Egyptians believed that man was created by God, who governed with the help of other gods, whose earthly representative was the Pharaoh.
Besides the two theories discussed earlier, another theory was advanced on the origin of man by a man called Charles Darwin. This theory is called the evolution theory.
We have also said that all living things evolved from simple living cells to complicated plants and animals that there are today. Evolution of humans takes place through 1. Natural selection. The fittest organisms will always survive best in any given environment. The weak organisms become extinct. 2. Mutation. We have also said that all living things evolved from simple living cells to complicated plants and animals that there are today. Evolution of humans takes place through 1. Natural selection. The fittest organisms will always survive best in any given environment. The weak organisms become extinct. 2. Mutation. This is the means by which genetic structure changes to different forms and gets transmitted to the next generation. 3. Isolation and adaptation. This is where species are separated by natural factors and subsequently they adapt to their new environments. And 4. Speciation. This is the gradual developmental changes of species from a lower state to a more superior state. Man is believed to be an evolving creature due to changes in the environment. This came about through several stages as illustrated on the tree of evolution shown. You can also view the difference between man and chimpanzee and even the difference in body organs in the next page. The following illustrations show the difference between man and the ape from whom he is believed to have descended. In this lesson, we are going to discuss the various stages through which man evolved. Click on each of the primates on the second bar above for more details.
The earliest species were known as Aegyptopithecus, or the Egyptian ape. They are said to be 30 million years old and were discovered in Egypt, Fayum Depression, Rusinga Island, Middle Eastern Europe, and Southeast Asia.
The next species was known as Dryopithecus, found in the Rusinga Island, Northeastern Europe, and Southeast Asia.
Kenyapithecus, Ramapithecus, is another species from which man is said to have evolved. The remains were found in Pakistan, Greece, India, Kericho, Fort Tenan, Samburu Hills, and Gorora.
Australopithecus, also known as the southern ape, is believed to have existed some 4 million years ago in the eastern and southern Africa. It is known to be the earliest hominid closer to modern man.
Homo habilis means man with ability, because this hominid could grasp objects and make tools. He lived between 2.5 and 1.5 million years ago. The remains were discovered at Oldowan, George, by Jonathan Leakey in 1964. Other sites where the remains were found include Hadar and Omo River in Ethiopia and Kobe Fora along Lake Turkana.
Homo ergaster is also known as the working man. He lived through the eastern and southern Africa between 1.9 and 1.4 million years ago. One of its remains is the Turkana boy found at Lake Turkana in Kenya in 1984. The remains of Homo ergaster found outside Africa is known as Homo erectus. Homo sapiens must have evolved from Homo erectus around 50,000 years ago. The remains of this early man are found all over the world. Recent discoveries have been found in Toumai in Chad and the Millennium Man found in Baringo, Kenya.
In this lesson, we are going to study early man's culture. Culture is a people's way of life. It includes people's values, language, food, clothing, technology, and custom.
Early human cultural and economic activities can be looked at under various Stone Age periods. The type of tools used at every period is used to describe the various stages of human cultural development. Initially, the tools were made of stone, hence the term Stone Age. The early human cultural and economic practices have been divided into 3 Stone Age periods. These are 1. The Early Stone Age, 2. The Middle Stone Age, and 3. The Late Stone Age. Early Stone Age dates from approximately 2.5 million years ago until about 200,000 years ago. It includes the earliest record of human tool making and documents much of the evolutionary history of the genus Homo. The early Stone Age has been divided into 3 main technological phases. These are the pre-Oldowan, the Oldowan, and the Acheulean.
By the end of this lesson, you should be able to 1. Describe the cultural and economic practices of early man during the Stone Age period. 2. Explain how the discovery of fire changed man's life during the Stone Age period.
Answer the following questions. Attempt the following exercises.
Early Stone Age existed 2.5 million years ago. It was the longest of the Stone Ages.
The beginning of early Stone Age period is known as pre-Oldowan culture. The tools used during this period were crude and not standardized. This period is characterized by Homo rudolfensis. The second phase is known as Oldowan. This phase was characterized by choppers, which were found in sites that date between 2.5 and 1.5 million years old. These tools were found in Olduvai Gorge. They were made and used by the Homo habilis.
The third phase is referred to as Acheulean culture. The earliest tools in this phase date back between 1.8 million years and 200,000 years. Common tools were hard axes and cleavers. These tools were first found at Saint Achille in France. They were made and used by Homo ergaster in Africa and Homo erectus in Asia and Europe. This period also marks the beginnings of language and the use of fire.
The Middle Stone Age lasted between about 400,000 and 50,000 years ago. It is found only in Africa. This period is associated with the archaic Homo sapiens. The stage is characterized by levallois, which are prepared platforms or pre-shaped tools. The tools prepared through levallois technology are known as Mosterian tools. During this period, man discovered better ways of shaping stones. They include levallois points, lanceolate,
They used levallois method, which involved the use of smaller stones to hit bigger ones to remove thin, sharp flakes and blades. Tools prepared through Lavallois method are known as mouse-terrian.
These represent examples of some of the Middle Stone Age traditions in East Africa. The characteristic tools were a range of multi-purposes heavy-duty picks and axes known as lanceolates. They were used for 1. Digging, 2. Cracking, 3. Scraping, and 4. Cutting. Their remains have been found at Kabwe or Broken Hill in Zambia. Sangoan. This Middle Stone Age tradition was characterized by picks and adzes made on bifacially flaked cores, the truncate type of axe, hand axes of developed Achillean form, massive side scrapers, and many elongated bifacially flaked points that probably served as lances or spearheads. The Sangoan seems to represent a response to the environmental conditions of a tropical rain forest. Lupemban industry was derived from and replaced the Sangoan industry found in forested areas of sub-Saharan Africa. The Lupemban industry is characterized by fairly small, well-shaped tools, chisels, adzes, planes, probably demonstrating intensive woodworking, side scrapers, and blades. The most characteristic Lupemban tool is an elongated lanceolate bifacial point, often very finely and beautifully flaked.
Archaeological sites of Middle Stone Age include 1. Muguruk near Kisumu, 2. Ntuka in Narok, 3. Lukenya Hill, 4. Sangobe in Lake Victoria, 5. Lantian in China, 6. Middle Awash in Ethiopia, 7. Border Cave in South Africa.
The third stage is the Late Stone Age, which existed between about 70,000 years and 6,000 years ago. It is associated with Homo sapiens. It is characterized by use of small stone tools known as microlithic technology.
They used small tools, a technology referred to as microlithic. They also put handles to their tools. They also made paintings and art on rock faces. They were mainly hunters.
The Homo sapiens associated with this age were effective hunters. They killed both large and dangerous animals. They made arrows that made hunting easy. Hafting, which means putting handle to a tool, was a major characteristic of the Late Stone Age. They were abstract in thought, that is, they could think beyond immediate needs and plan future activities. Their other characteristics include 1. They used bone as raw material for making tools. 2. They made the fashioning harpoon, an important fishing tool made of bone. 3. They made necklaces for decorating using beads from ostrich eggshells. 4. They applied ochre on themselves as body decoration. 5. They roasted meat products. And 6. They made paintings and art on rock faces.
Archaeological sites associated with Late Stone Age are Lukenya Hill, Malewa in Naivasha, Kariandusi, in Elementaita, Ntumot in Narok, Nasera in Tanzania, Mumba in Tanzania, and Enkampune ya Muto in Mau. New Stone Age, also known as Neolithic, is technologically a continuation of the Late Stone Age, but with a component of the practice of agriculture. It began around 9,000 years ago in Eastern Africa and around 11,000 years ago in the Middle East and the Nile Valley.
It is during the Neolithic that many food crops and animals were domesticated. Some of the characteristic tools associated with the Neolithic include pottery, grinding stones, and stone bowls. Neolithic people developed religious beliefs, had improved shelter, and may have worn skin clothing. The first formal systems of government and civilizations began during the Neolithic and started to show in Egypt, Mesopotamia, and Meroe in Sudan.
The people during this period wore skin clothing and they had improved shelter. They also